Hi everybody, and welcome back to Harry's Music Room. Today's video is going to be a contest entry for Christian CGC, the Vinyl Guy. He's having a contest, a push for 500 subs for his 60th birthday. And what he would like us to do is show 6 albums from the year that we were 6 years old. So for me, that's going to be 1959. I turned 6 in November, late November of 1959. So a lot of the records I could pick would be from 1960, but I decided to just go with the records from the year that I turned 6. I first heard about this contest from Rod, the Happy Hippie, on his channel. So there's a shout out for Rod. So give Rod and Christian both a sub if you haven't done so already. Let's get Christian up to the 500 subs. So one other thing about Christian, he's a big Beatles guy. So if you like the Beatles, check him out. So 1959. So now, I was born in upstate New York, near Binghamton, a town called Johnson City. And I moved to Washington State in 1976. I came out here in the Air Force and just stayed here. So just down the road, about maybe 25 minutes down the road, is Olympia, Washington. And that's where the Fleetwoods were formed, and the Fleetwoods had the big song Mr. Blue and Come Softly to Me on Dolton Records. And originally the Fleetwoods were known as Two Guys and a Girl. That was the name of the band. But then they changed their name to Fleetwoods because of at the time they had telephone exchange numbers, and it would be like Fleetwood 498 or Fleetwood 332. That's how you would use the phone to call someone. So apparently Fleetwood was the phone exchange in the Olympia, Washington area, so they became known as the Fleetwoods. So that's my first record. The next record is a band that I just loved growing up, and that was the Coasters. They had so many great songs. And this Greatest Hits album came out in 1959. But you know these songs. Poison Ivy, Along Came Jones, Down in Mexico, which I believe was their first hit. Charlie Brown, Yakety Yak. Yakety Yak features King Curtis on saxophone. And of course Youngblood. And if anybody is a fan of George Harrison's Concert for Bangladesh, Leon Russell does a killer version of Youngblood on that. But every song on here is really good. Leiber and Stoller were most of the writers for their hits. This is on the original Atco label. Really cool looking label. So that's my second record. My third is something that I don't normally listen to, which is classical, but it's kind of a classical jazz mix, and that is Rhapsody in Blue. I love that, the Gershwin song. I like it so much that I have it in stereo, I have it in mono, and I also have it on reel-to-reel tape. But Rhapsody in Blue, it was written 1920 something, and 1924. He performed for Abraham Lincoln's birthday concert that was going to be put on. But this version here, I just love how it just flows and it changes, and I really like the fact that it's like 20 minutes long. So I listen to this one frequently. It's one of my favorite albums. And then up next, 1959. Elvis was in the Army, and I remember when Elvis died, John Lennon was asked what he thought about it, and John's response was that Elvis died when he went in the army. But RCA was really concerned about having Elvis out of commission for 2 years. He'd been selling, he was hot, he was one of the biggest things in music. So they had him record a couple of songs to try to get him through the 2 years that he was going to be gone. But in the meantime, they put out this album for LP fans only, which contained a lot of the earlier singles that were not on an album. Singles and EPs. So this kind of got the public, a product for Elvis while he was still in the army and waiting for him to get released and back into the public. And this is Friday Music on yellow vinyl. And then I could have picked any number of jazz albums from 1959. Trust me, there was a bunch of classic albums that came out that year. But I picked two, and that's Art Blakey's Moanin'. Originally, I think they were going to just have it be a self-titled album, but the Moanin' track was so popular that it became Moanin', Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. And as you can see, this is the classic vinyl series on Blue Note. And then for my last pick, well, of course, it's got to be ready. Miles Davis, Kinda Blue. I don't know if there's a more iconic or more fabled jazz record, but this is my number 6 pick for 6 albums that came out when I was 6 years old. And one thing about these UHQRs that I never understood is you got your spine here and it goes on the shelf, but when you pull it out, what would normally be the front is blank, and what you would consider to be the back is where the photo is. I don't know. That's what they do. Anyways. So, that's my contest entry for Christian CGC, the vinyl guy. Let's get him up to 500 subs. I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate all the comments. I really do look forward to them. I try to answer as many, if not all of them. So, thank you again for watching, and until next time, ciao.